Hello there, and welcome back to Corey Loses for the continuation of our Fall of the Republic 1.1 preview playthrough as the CIS, though we're not previewing anymore. We just took out a pretty massive fleet with the Republic Mandator 2 episodes ago, and we've been trying to clean up some of our southern border a bit here. Well, not really, because we're all around them, so it's our southern, northern, eastern, and western border. Maybe not eastern, because they have Rathana. But we are focusing on these southern planets while also building back up towards some of our core territories. Because we do want to take the last, 8 planets here? Yeah, these last 8 planets here, and then we're going to start moving our way up north. But this is the first of 2 episodes I'm recording for this week over on Twitch, so for those of you watching on YouTube, you can watch these recordings live on Twitch on Mondays for the most part. But this weekend we've got a lot of cool stuff coming because on Saturday we're going to be celebrating the 15th anniversary of Empire at War Expanded, back when it was just originally known as just Thrawn's Revenge. But that'll be myself and a lot of the team starting at 2 p.m. Eastern on Saturday, doing a live stream talking about the history of the mod and also premiering some fancy new stuff, including some preview videos that'll then be posted on the channel afterwards. So, let's get started by moving... Do we want to assault Kamino? Yeah, let's actually send Grievous's fleet from Balamak in... over here. Down to Bothawui. And we are going to send Ventress's fleet over to Kamino, and Trench's fleet will probably... Yep, we're not going to get there in time. But we got Shakti in space, probably because they don't have enough ground slots for all the clones they have here right now. Alright, so who's this? We got... Oh, that's Remoti. So it's not actually a hero vendor, it's a hero who is attached to the vendor. So, I want to read your name. You are Visible Hand.
Capture designated coordinates and
Lightning's
eliminate
Lance.
clone resistance.
Please buy me hull latching. Hate this job. I'm in charge now. Maleficent. Subverter. Oh. Expendable. Will, don't fire at me.
Navigating to coordinates.
Lobbyist for independent planetary rights. Croissant went wrong. E1 party bus. And I guess just these Gozantes.
Roger, roger. Destroy turret.
Cruiser reporting.
They don't really have that much here, but we do need to get through the Valaduja. So having a bulwark and a Providence Dreadnought will definitely be helpful for that, as well as Lightning's Lance over here. Unless they decide to retreat, which could happen.
Roger, roger.
We have a full stack. Alright, never mind. You just don't
Frigate
move.
reporting. Enemy spotted.
I need recharge.
We have like next to no fighters because I haven't yet bought hull latching. We have enough money that we can probably do it soon. I still want to build the rest of the patron units, but this fleet is not a very fighter-heavy fleet at all.
Cannons armed.
Well aimed.
Alright, and there is still a Dreadnought.
Sterilized.
Wait. This is just the upgrade object, so I guess they tried to build it and it didn't upgrade. So that's weird.
How are you doing that? Target acquired.
Yeah, I don't want you to get too much damage on you there.
Target those lasers.
What's your name?
And that might have been before we had the upgrade properly set up, so I'm not going to be too worried about that.
Termination period after targeting reticle.
The thing with the preview playthroughs, I can never know what's actually... Well, I can know, and usually do know, but
We must complete
there's
those
stuff that is
shutdown
not
sequences.
fully done, and they haven't, even though the public release is farther along than this.
Update.
Alright, we're gonna
Republic
want
bomber attack
you
run has
on
met
that
with
first.
failure.
Batteries
Pull
online.
you guys in. And hopefully it'll
Final
recalculate a
arming
bit.
sequence engaged.
Waiting order.
General Grievous frowns
Alright,
on
try to
such
protect from the
ineptitude,
Arc 170s.
usually with a lightsaber.
And... because with the Valaduja shooting it as well, those arcs could end up getting through.
Yes, sir.
We no longer have control.
Alright. This might actually be a situation where the Jedi fighters are actually able to take out all of our stuff. Well, not all of our stuff, but all of our fighters. Right now, the Jedi fighters are pretty much just flavor transports. They're not really meant to be used in space. A lot of fighter hero stuff is going to need dedicated reworks in both mods. They're a lot more useful in TR, where they do exist, but they're also not generally ground units.
Mutations are necessary for backup.
The exception being like Luke and Corrin. Corrin was invincible for a long time, so he was a problem there. But we should start
We
getting
no
in
longer have
range of the
control.
Valaduja.
Activated. Target Alpha countdown in final phase.
The Bulwark 2 is starting to do some damage on there. And make sure that these guys don't contribute too much to that.
Power up.
Awaiting orders.
At least we have ion cannons on this guy, but
The missile launchers are the primary target.
Roger, roger. Target turret, power up. Target turret, roger,
might be able to mess with these missiles a bit.
Machines are
Might be a little too
superior.
far.
Roger, roger.
Can I move you just over there?
Negative life form confirmed. Eliminate turret.
Alright. So the video's coming on Saturday. So far I've made
Not let Republic
a
troops
couple of
secure
them.
Target Alpha.
There'll be probably some more planned between now and Saturday, but
Disable
so far we've got a video that's going to be talking about the bomber changes and bomber reworks that we're doing.
Confirmed.
A video about the Imperial Remnant or Imperial roster reshuffling, where all the rosters for all the warlords are being changed to give them their own actual play styles instead of just being kind of a cluster of similar stuff. And there's going to be a video showing off some of the early work on Revan's Revenge, so some of the units there and explaining what's going on with that.
You have been designated for termination.
There will be another video talking about other stuff that is slipping my mind.
Die, die, fire, brother.
Karen,
Roger that.
glad you enjoy the stuff.
Malfunction.
Disable those missile launchers. Reporting.
Roger, roger. Focus your weapon.
Alright.
We have
Yeah,
not
and
met
on top of that, there'll just be
success.
a lot of us messing around and stuff. We got like dozens of
Enemy
art
forces
assets to show too
are numbers.
that aren't going to get their own dedicated video. We're just going to kind of throw them up and show them as we go through the stream. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Direct fire at
Hopefully.
their laser cannons.
It might suck. I haven't seen it yet. Like, I haven't seen the stream yet. It might suck. I can't make any promises.
Orders.
Roger, roger.
Awaiting orders.
Dean is asking, do you plan on playing the new Awakening Rebellion version at all, or no? I would like to play it at some point. I'm not sure when I'll be able to do a playthrough.
Negative life form confirmed. You have been designated for termination.
Target those lasers.
Enemy forces have reduced our numbers.
The missile launchers are the primary target.
Blast doors
reporting.
operational.
Machines
Alright.
are superior.
So we lost a Munificent,
Destroy
but I think we got most of this.
Target those lasers.
We no longer have control of destruction imminent.
Like, if we can take Kamino, Bothawui, and even if we leave Rathan up for a little while,
Formality.
then that's not too bad.
Critical threat detected.
Alright, let's get over to the shipyard.
Machines are
Unless they
superior.
do retreat now.
Weapons are. Orders received.
Surprised the Bulwark 2 was able to tank that up so well. Like, they're tanky, but that was the whole Valaduja shooting at it for a while. I guess the Munificence did pull off the fire. And this one nearly died, the other one did die. Not sure which one that was. That does mean we can bring in... not the recusant. We'll bring in... Oh, that's just... Okay, those are just regular units. Never mind. Yeah, as far as like playing other mods, it's something I do want to do. We just did the Pegasus Chronicles playthrough for single stream GC, but I don't think like AOTR is something that I can do for a single stream Galactic Conquest. That would have to be its own full series. So kind of just have to see how other stuff fits in with it. Because I already end up doing a lot of EAW with the single stream GCs and the preview playthroughs for TR and Fall of the Republic. Like, I don't want to have 3 or 4 playthroughs going at once, usually just 1 or 2, which means if I do a Fall of the Republic playthrough, by the time that's done, then there's usually enough stuff to look at with TR and vice versa, or I'll do both. If I have 2 going, it'll usually be both of those. So it really just depends on the timing for that.
Look out!
Initiating attack.
Power up.
Do not let Republic troops secure target Alpha.
Coming up here, little Kolovex.
Perhaps it is time to stop
Got him.
and start calculating.
Because I am trying to mix in some other stuff on the channel as well, beyond just... Rip Croissant that went wrong. Beyond just the EAW. Like, trying to do more Stellaris and that kind of thing. We really don't have that many vehicles here.
Constructing unit. Constructing unit.
But we have Grievous's ground forces. So that's a thing. And there was a pretty big army we had somewhere. Where is it? Where are you? Oh, on Genosis. Don't know what that is. I'll skip out on the structure, or on the shipyard for now. Let's get these guys to get more ground units for us. Thank you, Flagar, for the 5 gifted subs. Very appreciated. Gifting to Shadow, Azrafeld, Patax, Noenska, and Yarum. Thank you very much. Part of me's thinking I should save, because this playthrough has been slightly unreliable. And thank you for subscribing yourself as well, saying, I was watching your CIS video this morning, didn't realize you were streaming all day. This is, we're 20 minutes, or 15 minutes in. Alright, so we'll save there before attacking Kamino and probably Bothawui on ground after that. Because like we've got Grievous coming into Bothawui, but oh, this is the ground stack I was talking about. Alright, maybe we'll just let Grievous get in there. And you are gonna lead the assault on Rhodia.
Not what I signed up for.
Yep.
Tactical battle imminent.
Who led the way here? Oceans to... Oh god.
Roger, roger.
See if you can turn the other way first.
Choose your reinforcements.
A trench.
I smell fear.
And...
And it smells.
Darth Hammer's Revenge. Then we'll send a Providence in the back there. Got Scourge of Sky Shroud, the Imposter.
Roger.
Why am I here? Tiri's Big Stick. This is a Vulture Droid.
Procedures initiated.
And... that's it. Those are the named ones, so we can drop our auxiliary
Prepare
front
for
there.
hyperspace at once.
Location confirmed.
Player's asking, have you thought about making the Malevolence more of a super capital along the lines of something more SSD or Viscount size? So the scale of it, like the stats and the scale of it, those were all picked based on the actual stats and scale of the ship in the universe. I think it works pretty well as a battlecruiser as it is. I don't think it really needs to be scaled up. Like, one of the nice things about battlecruisers that size is you can keep them supported by other ships as well. It's a benefit that they have over, like, super duper Star Destroyers.
At your service.
Final arming sequence engaged.
Thank you, Perrin, for subscribing at Tier 1, Perrin Games. Yeah, there's other variants of the Malevolence we want to add, like Devastation, but they all, I think they tend to be relatively similarly sized. We'll probably be redoing the Malevolence model first, the regular subjugated
Send the
model.
droids. I do not like being in the fighting.
The engines are our primary target.
Defends the reactor.
Get over there.
Majority reticle recently calibrated.
That poor Providence that I just basically sacrificed.
Disable those
Enemy
missiles.
forces
See if we can
have
pull
reduced
you
our
around here.
numbers.
Target those lasers.
Carrier of the Trade Federation. At your service. Surely there
Alright,
are
take
other
the
ships that
quads.
can fill this role. We are not a warship.
And...
Aye, rider, rider.
It's been so long.
Send all these
since I
fighters
had
in
a
as well.
worthy opponent.
See if we can maybe distract from our Providence.
To prevent a design vulnerability from becoming clear.
I can still sell you.
Trade Federation Locre Holkia.
Intensify forward effectors.
Blast doors.
Get out.
Majority reticle recently calibrated.
Why isn't Grievous' ship a Providence like in Revenge of the Sith? So Grievous went through a bunch of different flagships. You can upgrade Grievous to Invisible Hand as one of his flagship options. He has 4 in the mod, including Invisible Hand, which is the name of his Providence from Revenge of the Sith. This poor ship it's dead. So with Grievous, he starts off usually in his Munificent or in... Oh no, it starts off in the Munificent. Then he can upgrade to either the Renator, which is the name of his Recusant, or to the Invisible Hand, which is his Providence. And then from there, from either of those, you can upgrade him into his Subjugator Malevolence. So Invisible Hand is there, it's just not his only flagship.
I need recharging. Termination confirmed.
There are a couple heroes like that that have
Could we go after them?
a couple different flagship options. And if he dies in one of the higher tier ones, he goes down into the lower tier one. Or whatever the next lowest tier one is. And it defaults to the Invisible Hand, I believe, when he dies in Malevolence. He's one of the few heroes that has some sort of respawning mechanism. Rednot's asking, what is the next closest thing to be looking forward to? TR Fall of the Republic. So if you mean which mod is going to come out with another update next, they'll probably, usually Fall of the Republic's easier to get the updates out for. So within a particular dev cycle, usually you can expect Fall of the Republic to come out first. But it really just depends on how specific content ends up going, because we do try to keep all the development cycles relatively tied together.
The Republic had pushed my droids to the breaking point, when they suddenly turned and fell back.
So, like, maybe there's a specific asset that would delay Fall of the Republic over TR, but usually it's the other way around. Have you thought of giving Jedi Venators or other capital ships? No. Mixed ground and space heroes and Empire at War are something that we almost always try to avoid. There are a few cases like Grievous where they're a lot more directly tied together, so we keep them there. But especially with Jedi, that'd be a lot of very powerful ships that you just kind of get. And the AI is not great at using mixed heroes. And usually the Venators and whatever, like the ships that acted as the Jedi's flagships, we also know who the commander of those ships were, and they're used as their own hero. So like we generally think it's better to have Yularen as his own hero rather than just tying him to Anakin. And that also lets us use the command staff function more broadly without having just massive amounts of capital ships buffing everyone everywhere. Alright. This has taken more out of us than I expected. Luckily, they've gone for different targets with the HV gun every time. But just kill that first. Like, it's also asking, is Bad Batch ever coming in? We don't currently have any plans for that. It's not impossible that we'd add them eventually, but there are other commando team options that don't involve making 4 or 5 entirely new infantry models. So those are art resources that are just better spent elsewhere.
I came, I saw, I conquered.
More immune effects in Providence. Down they go. Alright, Grievous is about to be here, then we'll be able to move these guys straight in.
Tactical battle imminent.
Oh, yikes. Don't like that at all, actually. Harlock. That's going to be pretty bad if they take that and kill our resources. Well, Fondor we want to upgrade for sure. I think it's better to have the shipyard first than the Golan. I was asking, would that be the same answer for no hireable bounty hunters for each side as well? No, bounty hunters are typically more unique. It's just, like, with commandos, we do have multiple options. Like, we already have Delta Squad, and if we added Bad Batch, it would basically be something that you can replace Delta Squad with. Or, like, Bad Batch, Omega, Delta, like, they would all fit into the same thing. Hireable bounty hunters, usually bounty hunters would be heroes for the CIS who have fewer hero options in the first place. So like Cad Bane and Dirge, like they'd be individual heroes.
What is your command?
Choose your reinforcement.
I think we might be able to do this. Flanker's Revenge.
This planet is ours.
Grievous with Renator in there. Hydra
The
Dominatus.
mission is complete.
Ghost Shrimp Fresh. Workable.
Setting course.
And Droid Slave Carrier.
Home 9 online.
See if we can pick away at any of these guys as they come in. I don't think we're going to be able to get straight through, but we might be able to take out... Alright, bombers, go for the victory. Tri fighters, get back there. They don't really have much anti-fighter that we're going to have to worry about on this side of it.
Awaiting orders. Copy.
And you go for this one.
Target.
Do not
We're
let
gonna try to
Republic
let
troops secure target Alpha.
the Lucrehawk tank a little bit. Clanker's gonna be our tanker.
I copy. Target
And
those
these
lasers.
two are just gonna go through the ships on this side. Well, we try to let Grievous handle whatever comes too far forward on here. And probably Hydra on you.
Reporting. Awaiting orders.
If you can get to that BSD. It's getting through with all of its power up and stuff going, man.
Good shot.
Do not let Republic troops secure target Alpha.
Press me.
Right, Grievous can probably, yeah, Grievous can help on this side, which will give us
Reporting. Cannon
a lot more to work with.
Target those lasers.
Go for that, because you're going to take out the rest with some passive
Shutdown sequence nearly
fire.
complete.
With this. Alright, get the turbos.
Located.
Why, hello?
There we go, take out the heavier weapons first. We're going to take out the light quads. Then we got an Act 1 carrier. This one's Act 2. The Act 2 is the actual
Navy.
direct combat. The Act 1
Blast
being
doors
obviously the
operational.
carrier. Alright, let's take out the fighter bay here.
Incoming enemy capital ships.
Perfect shot.
Everything going as planned.
We're actually doing a good job with some of these smaller ships. It's just the Praetor we have to worry about after that. And all the fighters. Obviously the Golan as well, but that's a separate issue.
Awaiting orders. Target those lasers.
Termination confirmed.
Alright. The best guns were left up longest on the Providence, or on the Venator, but whatever.
Navy. Navy.
So a few months ago, something was introduced in Armada, which Ek did a video about when it came out, the Venator 2. And so naturally that's resulted in a lot of people asking if that's going to be added to the mod. But the loadout that the Venator 2 has is basically what the Venator already has in the mod. So that it's not really a new thing per se, it's just a new label put on it. Like, it's not like it's a more powerful Venator than what's in the mod, it's just a different name for the loadout we already use, essentially. So, like, if we were trying to represent the Venator 1, Venator 2 distinction that they use in Armada, it would basically mean making a worse Venator 1.
Wonderful.
Standing by.
Navy. Navy.
We thought of making a new Jedi Temple as a building on Coruscant to get new Jedi heroes, such as Okar, Bears, Faye, other Jedi's die. So we already use, like, you already recruit other random, like the regular Jedi. You will be using the actual temple as a model for that. It's just we have to rig it, but that's functionally already how it works. It's just you wouldn't there when we add more Jedi heroes like that, it'd be done a similar way to the command staff setup rather than just buying more Jedi. You'd have to like pick from a certain group, like pick a certain subset of them, rather than just being able to have like a dozen Jedi heroes at once.
Nice probing.
You guys get back up here.
Countdown approaching 0. Eliminate immediately.
Still have engines? You do. You have... yeah, you're fine. You still have shields, even.
Awaiting orders.
Now, if we're all going to be working together on this...
Perfect shot.
Shutdown sequence nearly complete.
Why is it lagging? Because there's a large amount of fighters. There's something else happening in Tactical that we haven't identified yet as well, but the main thing is the number of fighters.
Tower coupling's failing.
That and some of the compatibility settings that I was using
Protect the control tower
seem to have made the
prevent
game
a
run worse
design
on this computer.
vulnerability from becoming
It's
clear.
an old game, it doesn't play super well with new hardware. And like my processor on this computer is really good single core, or really good multi-core, not very good single core, because I built it for video editing rather than for Empire War. Whereas my other computer, which I built
Count dwindling.
to be good at running Empire War, typically doesn't get any
Ambush
lag.
successful.
Alright, there's still another VSD coming around from that side. They did have protecting their station. We're actually getting some shields back on the Bulwark 1. The Bulwark 2 has started taking the brunt of everything. We're almost through the shields here, though, so...
Shields online. Republic cruiser has sustained critical
I'm not going to
damage.
worry about the ion cannons very much. Because, again, we're kind of out of shields everywhere. You guys go for the bombers. Yeah, those are the only bombers, so...
Formation.
Shutdown sequence nearly complete.
I will send one of my minions.
Cannon down.
Alright. Can we try to save Hydra
Weapons
most?
armed.
We'll pull you around.
What is it, my
Die, fire rudder.
Yo,
Final arming
Quad.
sequence engaged.
Heavy quad. Pull around there. Pull around there. Grievous.
Get behind them.
Run away.
That one. Hydra, hit this one.
here.
Like, we've got some healing coming in from this. Oh crap, you're just taking so much fire.
Choose your reinforcements.
I got them now.
We no longer have control of
Standing by.
I got one.
Alright, you guys get in here. You don't all need to chase that down. Leave the Mankfins on it.
shields back online. Last
Those
door
One of my
mediums.
minions.
That
We will
medium.
show no mercy.
I'm on.
Are you ever going to add Von Cal ships into Fall Republic? No. They were only militarized for the Galactic Civil War.
Drive system is down.
Like, there's background comic stuff where there's MC-80 looking stuff, but they wouldn't have been militarized by that point anyways. And that's like one comic
cruiser
thing.
has sustained critical damage.
Direct it.
Emergency. Enemy reinforcements en route.
What does the AI do in regards to Order 66 when playing the CIS? So the Republic AI automatically chooses Order 66 rather than Order 65. It's the more interesting thing to play against. Thank you for subscribing, Farsha. 9-month streak.
Shields back online.
Target locked.
Yeah, like, it makes sense for the player being able to choose what they do there. But especially when we first set up the system, it was basically a choice between keeping your Jedi or not. And for playing against the Republic, though, it gives you
If
more
it
different
looks
stuff to
like
play
the
against, so it just
Republic, you should be shooting at it.
typically makes sense to have them default that way.
Our lasers are inoperable.
Alright, let's see if we can save you.
Republic bombers detected.
Why does the Republic have so many Praetors? Doesn't seem like a very common ship. It wasn't a very common ship in lore, but when you're playing on high difficulties,
Shutdown
in the Republic, or when the AI is favoring building strong individual ships, when they have like no financial restrictions on hard or cruel, like they do have financial restrictions, but they have a fuck ton of money, because that's basically what cruel AI is. Then they're going to build a lot of those unless they have an explicit build limit on them, which we don't have in Fall of the Republic.
Planning for your imminent failure is now a formality.
We may do that in Fall of the Republic for Praetors if we decide we want them to use persistent damage, but I don't know that we will.
Locking on.
Separatist dreadnoughts
Alright, we lost both of our bulwarks. We lost our little carrier. But we took out a bunch of VSDs, vendors, and X, and a priest.
Failure is
So-
now a
I will send you
formality.
one of my minions.
Pretty good battle.
Enemies in range. Regroup for another attack.
Republic cruiser has sustained critical damage.
What is your name?
Alright, that is nearly dead.
I'm on them.
Looked like that little health bar was a green shield bar for it.
Jedi or no, I shall still have my rewards.
Alright, I'm really glad they didn't have a hypervelocity gun on this planet, because fighting this fleet in a hypervelocity gun, that'd be scary. Let's just go
Shutdown complete.
start getting in range.
Here,
Eliminating
this
target.
planet is ours.
Target locked.
How long did it take to design the Viscount and TR? Well, the Viscount has an official design, so the designing part didn't take very long. There are obviously some edits that go in with making all versions of any design, but SSDs tend to take longer to model than other stuff.
We no longer have control of.
And Acericil has done a few iterations of it, so even more time with that factored in.
Commencing attack run.
Termination confirmed.
No one will deny me my victory.
Surrender is not an option.
How long did it take to design the Asserter in TR, Farshot's asking? Not quite as long as it's going to take to design the Mandator 3, apparently.
Intercepted. Target locked.
New unit online.
Really, it won't take long to finish the Asserter once I get back to it.
Eliminating target.
Most of the mesh is already done.
Final arming sequence engaged.
Changing course to intercept.
We must
Most of it.
complete
Not all of
both
it.
shutdown
Most of it.
sequences.
General welcomes all challengers.
Countdown approaching 0.
Alright, let's just get that. See if Grievous. Snipe it.
Perhaps a match for my own.
Thank you, Mr. Puerto Rican. Subscribing for 23 months straight.
What is
Very
your bidding,
appreciated.
my master?
We no longer have control of
You have surpassed your hourly quota.
intercept.
Come on, bombers, you can do it.
Roger that.
Wow, roger that.
Master.
Communications are necessary for backup.
I don't have time to trifle with the likes of you.
Target locked.
Alright, this is not ideal. I don't think Grievous can take down this faster than this can take down Grievous.
Final arming sequence engaged.
What is your bidding, my master? So many
What is it, my lord?
triumph.
We should send the bombers over there. But they're almost done over here.
Enough of this rabble. Grind them to death.
Pull through.
A command I like.
You are a
Do not let Republic troops secure target Alpha.
Alright. Bombers can deal with this goal and probably just tell them to attack different hard points so that they don't waste much ammo. I mean, they're nearly done.
Press me.
And you guys go in just so that you pull some fire away from Grievous.
Master.
Slowly chip away at it. None of these are really full squads either. Well, the doubles are, but
Swarm tactics.
Shields online.
go,
I am at your disposal.
go. And there you go. Come over here and just help do some of the damage. Thank you, Flaggar, for the $40 donation. Love that you answer so many questions for the fans. Great job, coordinating team. Very appreciated. And you're welcome. There goes that one. Really, it was just the reload time that was holding us up there. Let's send some of them for the station. Pull you around. I don't have the tracker up, but that does count towards the single stream stuff.
I am at your disposal. What is it, my lord?
Final arming sequence.
Start getting everything in range for this. And thank you, Flaggar, for another 5 gifted subs. To Carlingas, 420 Blaze Crank, Jameis, Zonally, and Fitty.
I will send one of my
All
minions.
units decommissioned immediately.
I'm not sure if it's a League of Legends reference. Right. We need to get everything on this goal in.
Countdown approaching 0.
Here, this planet is ours.
Right, we need everything on the goal in 3.
We no longer have control of...
I suppose one thing. No, I don't think it'll be ready for the for Saturday. But one thing that is going to be changing in Fall of the Republic that I have spoken about in this playthrough already is the station. So probably have to wait until they're actually ready before we can give any more information there.
Protect the control tower to prevent
Most of our proton,
from becoming
yeah, our
clear.
proton torps are gone off this guy.
New
So
task assigned.
the very neutered Providence.
Perhaps we let the survivors escape. They will be
Alright, pull up a little bit more.
Enemy forces have reduced our numbers.
And you make sure you can get
Republic bombers
into
detected.
healing range, maybe?
Blast doors.
That's gonna put you into range of 2 other weapons. So let's just make sure we still get the conks and protons. Not conks, just protons. Just asking, how long have you known Shaq, Ak, and Charlie? So the one I've known the longest is
Public
Shaq.
bomb attack run has met with failure.
That's been quite some time. Back when I still used Skype, so maybe 2014, 2015, where I didn't know who he was when we were introduced, but he was friends with a lot of the Star Trek Armada 3 devs, which is a mod for Sins, which is a game that we also mod. We have Ascendancy for
Initial
Sins.
objective complete.
And I was pulled into a Skype conversation by
Incoming enemy
some of the
capital ships.
STA3 devs with Shaq, and Shaq had played the mod I think by then already on the channel, on his channel. So that's where I met him,
All units decommissioned
and then
immediately.
like giving him some extra mod preview stuff, and we did some skirmish a while back and like the tabletop stuff. So I've been known him for a long time. Been friends with him for like 7 years now, I guess. And Ek, I met when I forget how I got introduced to him, but like he was doing some Sin stuff originally as well, and then he started getting into Empire at War, so I gave him a preview build of 2.2 or something. Then after that, we started talking more about just other stuff, and now we talk like almost every day. Or, no, definitely every day. Then I met Charlie just through Ek doing Burial Cart. I think the first Burial Cart, which is a series we do on X2, which is a channel I contribute to with Eckhart's Ladder and Charlie, X Gaming channel, where yeah, so we drink and play Mario Kart, and that's how I met Charlie. Haven't met any of them in person, no. The only online people I've met in person so far have been a couple EAW or Empire War Expanded devs. So I've met Sleverd in person, I've met Slorny in person, I've met Evil Bob the Bob in person, and I've also met Enceladus in person, but that was after Enceladus was no longer on the team. I went to Scotland, and Slorny came up from where he lives to see me in Edinburgh. Then I went to see Bob in Montreal when he was in town, so kind of met in the middle there. Celadus came to Ottawa for medical school stuff, so I got dinner with him. That was around the time I was starting the channel. Yeah, I'd love to meet more of the devs in person. Really just a financial and time thing.
Here.
Signal lost.
Command I like.
Initial objective complete.
You're not the only one with a cape.
Detonation imminent.
Alright.
I have slain Jedi.
I've never met any YouTube people in person.
Acquiring target.
I am at your disposal.
I was originally planning to go to Mark from the Templin Institute's house for I think it was just going to be a bunch of us hanging out. Then COVID happened, so we didn't do that.
Situational prediction, extreme damage.
And last year, right before COVID, I was going to go to before lockdowns, I was going to go to Nova Scotia to hang out with Ek and Charlie, but then Charlie wasn't buying his ticket on time, and I ended up not being able to go.
Orders.
There's only planned changes for the Golan stations, visual or hull and weapons. So the Golans themselves aren't planned to change. It's not like a change to the individual stations. It's a change to which stations are where in Fall of the Republic that's going to happen. So rather than the level 2 station being the Golan 1 and level 3 being the Golan 2, Fall of the Republic's all going to shift up one. So it'll be Golan 2 is your level 4 station, Golan 1's your level 3, then like Haven and Valor will be the level 5 and level 2 stations with an additional little outpost below it. Because the stations in Fall of the Republic tend to be a little bit stronger than we want them to be. It's a bit too easy to just build up a defensive bastion almost everywhere. And while we are going to change some of the planets to have like lower max levels, we do think for the scale of combat in the mod, it works better to have it be like offset by 1 compared to Thrawn's Revenge.
On the battlefield.
Because like the fleets are smaller, the individual ships are a bit weaker than TR, so having the stations be offset or being the same how they are now skews the mod a lot more towards the kind of like station assault battles.
Get behind them.
Because like we try to have both mods focus more on the actual fleet engagements and the fleet mechanics rather than being a bunch of station assaults, which like base Empire War tends to skew a bit more towards. They're like we do want to have battles like that. It's just right now it goes a bit too far in the direction of station assaults being too common.
New unit online. Keep Republic forces from destroying communications.
Like the next major visual thing for space is we want to redo the the asteroids. Like the nebula would be nice having them look better too, but the asteroids and also the lighting, because like right now a lot of it ends up being really blown out, which was something we had to do to support the old planet models, but now planets look better themselves. They don't rely on the same tricks with the lighting to do the edges for them, so we can tone that down a bit and make it look a little less washed out. But do you like TR or Fall of the Republic better? Which are you more proud of? It really depends what I'm looking for. Like, Fall of the Republic obviously has a one-on-one war, two larger factions, so it plays very differently as far as that goes, which is fun. But I also really like TR's dynamic of having a bunch of different factions, building up from smaller ones, and kind of seeing how the borders kind of shake out. I wouldn't say I like one more than the other, or more proud of one than the other. In a way, like maybe TR just because it's been going the entire time. But we did lose some ships in that one. Very sad. But I think that's going to do it for our first episode here. We are going to do one more recording for today. So for those of you watching on YouTube, thank you for watching and hope to see you next time. For those watching on Twitch, stick around and we'll be right back.